We begin with the worst earthquake in the Western Hemisphere in several years, the biggest to hit Venezuela in more than a century. Not one, but two, hitting last night within a minute of each other. Inside Venezuela now, the situation is harrowing. This is the airport near Caracas during the quake. Venezuela's interim president says dozens are known to be dead and hundreds injured. But the U.S. Geological Survey warns the number of dead could exceed 10,000. Many Venezuelans were at home when it hit, celebrating a public holiday. This morning, the country is focused on rescue efforts. Emergency crews are combing through rubble for survivors, clearing debris, and bracing for what will likely be a very long recovery. That is emergency workers pulling a victim alive from a collapsed building in Caracas. The president has declared a state of emergency. International assistance will be needed in the economically compromised nation. A number of governments, including the U.S. and Mexico, have already deployed teams, but the damage is widespread. Dozens of buildings in the capital have collapsed, and Venezuela's main airport is shut down. Here's where it happened. Two earthquakes striking almost simultaneously shortly after 6 p.m. local time. They were big. 7.2 and 7.5 when it comes to magnitude. The first near Moron, all of this along the country's Caribbean coast, just about 170 kilometers from Caracas. The second one striking a minute later, very nearby. More than 24 aftershocks have continued since. The U.S. Geological Survey does predictive modeling to understand what the death toll could be. So let's take a look here on the right side of this chart. It indicates there's a 42% chance between 10 and 100,000 people have been killed in this quake, a 17% chance that it's more than 100,000. If we zoom out here, we see the warning from the USGS, high casualties and extensive damage are probable. Cody Weddle leads our coverage this morning from neighboring Colombia. And Cody, the sun about to come up there. What is it expected to reveal in terms of damage?
Well, I think we're going to see more of those collapsed buildings. We saw these videos coming out yesterday evening. Collapsed buildings both in Caracas and on the coast in La Guaira state, where the international airport is located. We heard last night from Acting President Delcy Rodriguez. She said the most affected area likely is La Guaira there on the coast. That is also a very densely populated area. Very likely here that many people remain trapped under rubble. We saw videos last night of rescuers attempting to talk to some of those people. They were communicating with them. So surely we will be seeing more of those scenes throughout the day. But people really will just be starting to evaluate the damage this morning.
Estaba sentada en la cocina cuando sentí que empezó a temblar y yo le digo a ella, está temblando. Me decía, sí, está temblando, pero se está temblando fue que vino el movimiento fuerte. Yo le dije que lo único que dije fue, no, Diosito, aquí estoy. Si me tienes que venir a buscar, aquí estoy.
Okay, so again, I think people will be waking up this morning, or many people probably have not slept. We know there were many people who remained in the streets all night. The government warning folks that if there was structural damage to their homes, certain types of cracks and things that they could see, it was safer to remain outside. We also know that the government has opened up shelters at local schools, local police stations as well. Delcy Rodriguez, the acting president, has said that there are at least 700 people injured. At this point, they have already counted 32 people dead. I've been speaking to people in Caracas throughout the night, and they're talking about just a few minutes of very violent shaking. A few friends of mine said they were trying to get to a door. They were trying to move, to get out of the building, but the shaking was so violent they could not could not even move. They felt like they couldn't move. I spoke to another person who was in La Guaira, that is that coastal state. She got out of the building just in time, right before that building where she lives collapsed. So the question is, how many people were able to get out of those buildings before they collapsed? We know there are collapsed buildings both in Caracas and in the coast, in La Guaira, and some other small towns as well. So really the evaluation here of the dam is just beginning.
We do know, Cody, from past quakes that when you have collapses on the magnitude that we're seeing, that there will be people trapped alive. We've seen some rescued, but can you take us through the desperate efforts now underway?
Well, right. We have been seeing videos of rescuers attempting to speak to those people, and some of those people are able to speak, to communicate. I saw videos of rescuers asking folks, which part of your body is trapped? Is it your legs? Is it both of your legs? Or your arms trapped as well? And so there are surely many situations like that taking place this morning, and Venezuelan authorities this will be a challenge for them to reach all of these sites where these buildings have collapsed. We know that a number of countries will be sending rescue workers as well this morning. They are expected to arrive starting this morning there in Venezuela. But I think we're just now getting a sense of the damage and the injuries, and also likely the casualties as well.
Absolutely. Cody, we have reached out to the Canadian government, the military, among other officials, to try to understand whether Canada is deploying any assistance. But we know that some are, U.S. and Mexico, for instance. What is the kind of help that will be expected?
Well, we've been hearing from countries really from around Latin America and around the world. We have already heard from presidents in Ecuador, in Chile, in Panama, and the Dominican Republic. We also know that acting President Delcy Rodriguez spoke to the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The U.S. is offering to send help as well. So we are already seeing those offerings of help from around the world. And so far, the government there in Caracas has said they plan to accept all the help that they can get. Of course, Venezuela has been through political, economic crises over the past 5 to 10 years. I don't think the security forces, the rescue forces are well equipped at this point to respond to this emergency. So they definitely will need as much help as they can get.
Absolutely. Cody Weddle, in neighboring Colombia, you'll keep us updated on the situation inside Venezuela. Thanks very much.